Behind every door, there is a story unseen, unheard, until it is told. And within every story, there are many players, each one moving through life, deeply absorbed in their own reality, each feeling shaping the choices they make, path they walk. But here is the question: are you merely watching, or are you part of the story?
Kevin parked his car in the driveway, opened the door, and stepped out. Returning home had long ceased to be a pleasant experience. He opened one of the back doors and retrieved a large pizza box and a bottle of Coke. He paused for a moment, savoring the warmth of the pizza box in his hands before climbing the few steps to his front door. He grunted at Sylvia, who appeared oblivious to his arrival. "Hi," he mumbled, hardly caring if she heard him. As expected, she didn't respond or acknowledge him at all. This treatment had become the norm. It would have surprised him if she had acted otherwise. He set the pizza on the kitchen counter and placed the Coke in the fridge, feeling the weight of exhaustion from a long day at work. Nothing felt different today. It was just another day in a series of monotonous ones. He looked forward to enjoying his pizza in solitude, a chance to escape from the problems and the life he found so unsatisfactory. After showering and changing into comfortable clothes, he washed his hands without speaking to Sylvia again. He took a few slices of pizza and filled a glass with Coke before retreating to his man cave in the basement. In that space, he felt a semblance of himself, reminiscent of his single days when he could do as he pleased. He turned on the TV, which was still tuned to the sports channel.
At least she doesn't come down here,
he thought glumly. A hockey game was on, and he felt a spark of energy return. Before he knew it, he was shouting at the players, critiquing their every move. Hockey had once been his passion, a sport he played regularly until marriage. He had convinced himself that Sylvia's dislike for the game was the reason he stopped playing. As he watched the game, bitterness surged within him over the loss of his passion. He finished his meal, propped his feet on the coffee table, and closed his eyes, relishing the taste of the pizza.
I used to be fit like those guys until I got married. This marriage has brought me nothing but misery,
he muttered, rubbing his full belly. He couldn't recall a time when he truly felt love for Sylvia. He knew he once did, but those feelings were now overshadowed by resentment. He had stopped trying to remember the good moments. They were buried beneath the weight of his dislike. Meanwhile, Sylvia finished washing the last dish and placed it on the rack to dry.
What a jerk! He didn't even offer me a slice of pizza. I work all day, and he treats me like I'm nothing.
The memories of their past flooded her mind, each one fueling her anger. Overwhelmed, she found herself sobbing and retreated to the pantry, throwing items in a fit of rage. Determined, she marched into the basement where Kevin was dozing. He opened his eyes to find Sylvia's furious face looming over him, and he felt a surge of panic. It took him a moment to orient himself, but confusion quickly set in as she began to scream.
You disgust me. You always put me down and never support me. I can't believe you said that.
What did I say? What are you talking about? We haven't spoken in weeks.
You're so clueless. You remember nothing. 3 years ago, on our anniversary at Swiss Chalet, you looked at me while I was eating and said, you shouldn't eat so much. You're getting fat. No wonder your clothes don't fit.
Kevin struggled to recall such a moment, unable to fathom saying something so hurtful.
I can't believe I would say that.
That's exactly the problem, Kevin. You don't think before you speak. You just bark like a chihuahua, letting whatever comes to your mind spill out.
Kevin glanced at Sylvia, feeling a wave of frustration.
Look at us. We both look like fat pigs. Why would I criticize her when I look even worse? There's nothing left for either of us. All we do is eat.
He took a deep breath to steady himself before responding.
I don't remember saying anything so hurtful. But if I did, I'm sorry.
It's too late for apologies. You bring nothing but misery into my life. Every day, you come home and sit on your throne, thinking you're a king while I slave away to make you happy.
Kevin reflected on their home. The only clean space was the basement, his sanctuary, because Sylvia avoided it. The rest of the house was a mess, dishes piled high, pet hair everywhere, laundry baskets overflowing. Family members had tried to help clean in the past, but the chaos always returned. Unable to hold back, he shot back.
What are you talking about? Look around! Even our dog prefers to sleep outside rather than come into this filthy place. Don't pretend you're cleaning. I know what a clean house looks like. I'm disgusted when I go to bed. You haven't changed the sheets in months. I work 10 to 12 hours a day, only to come home to this hellhole.
Sylvia fell silent, taking in the basement for the first time. It was tidy and organized, a stark contrast to the chaos upstairs. She wiped a tear from her cheek and asked,
Whatever happened to us? How did we get here, Kevin?
Surprised by her question, he replied without hesitation,
Life happened. Our life has become miserable. I pray for it to change. I can't even remember ever really loving you. That's not true. I do remember loving you, long ago. Loving you made me give up the things I once cherished: hiking, playing hockey. You took those away from me.
Sylvia was taken aback.
What are you talking about? I encouraged you to do those things. You thought I would feel neglected if you pursued your interests. You chose that path and now blame me? I'm the one who needs to tell you what you've done to me. You never encouraged me. You never told me anything I did was good enough. You find fault in everything. Even when I graduated, you never congratulated me or told me you were proud. Because of you, I lost my confidence and thought I wouldn't be good at anything. I lost respect for myself.
Don't blame me for your weaknesses. You chose not to work. You thought studying psychology wouldn't lead anywhere, so you stopped looking for jobs. I worked 2 jobs for 5 years to support your education. I insisted you finish school, even knowing how tough it would be in that field. I even urged you to get your master's. If you had, you'd have better opportunities now. It's true I didn't congratulate you, but you decided to be a housewife 2 months before graduation. You could have saved us so much money. Look, your problem isn't me. It's your fear of facing reality.
Kevin said quietly,
You don't even go out with your friends. You're so afraid of their judgment. The truth is, how we got here isn't just life. It's our perspective on life.
Sylvia shot back,
When did you become a psychologist? Don't spew that nonsense. I studied psychology for 4 years, and honestly, it's just fiction. Our destiny and karma dictate what we do.
Kevin laughed.
So, it's my karma to be stuck with a lunatic like you?
Lunatic? You think I'm crazy? How dare you insult me like that? I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation, but you always derail it.
Intelligent conversation?
Kevin scoffed.
You're saying everything that happens to us is destiny and karma? We have no control? We created this together, and we destroyed the life we could have had. I believe that now. We're exactly where we are because we've spent all our time blaming each other for our misery. Sylvia, maybe you should dust off those psychology books you packed away and read them again. There are truths in those stories. Perhaps you'll find your answers there.